And it's really nice when you come to a conference or an exhibition at the beginning, because what you've got is, if you know some people and you have a network around you that maybe you've done through LinkedIn, through Twitter, you start seeing people and saying hello, and that's always really important. It's nice to get those little hugs and hellos, especially because these things can be a little bit daunting. So even if you don't know those people necessarily, if you haven't made those connections, you can go up and speak to them. I've had people speak to me already, go, oh, you're Joe, you work for Training Journal, and it's just really nice to then start having those conversations, even if it's not in depth. It's putting names to faces. I've been through the webinar session at the conference, and this is with Michelle Parry-Slater and Andy Lancaster, who work for the CIPD, and they shared some really great stuff all about how to run a successful webinar and make it a really good thing for your business. So things like including the chat window is really important, and actually I blogged about this recently, because the amount of webinars that have no chat window, and you lose a huge amount of social interaction on that. They talk about making sure that the webinar starts actually before you start the webinar. It's the invitation, it's getting people thinking, it's making sure it's interactive throughout, and they use the master model that you can go and look up in terms of engaging people's brains and getting people to go and remember things. And that was all about making sure that people can exhibit their learning or just show things by having an activity, for example. Also, they talked about making sure that people learn afterwards, so following up with an immediate email of resources or with curated content that you've gone and found that's relevant to the topic, and following that up maybe 3 weeks or a month later, and that's spaced repetition. And if you don't know much about spaced repetition or spaced learning, you can go and look at Donald Clark's blog, Plan B, I think his blog is called, and he's got some great resources on